Before spring is here and gone tomorrow, I want to share some of my favorite spring fragrances with you guys. I just happen to have 25. Hello, my gorgeous ones. Welcome to Alicia Budget Beauty. My name is Alicia. Here on my channel, I love all things affordable fashion and beauty. I do hauls, tutorials, reviews, perfume recommendations, and reviews, all sorts of fun stuff. So if that sounds good to you, please subscribe, stick around, be a friend. All right, you guys, I'm super excited about today's video. It is a collab with my friend, Kelly. I actually asked her to do this collab with me because I love her fragrance knowledge. I love her passion for fragrance. I started binge watching her videos a while back when I saw her do some with her husband. There is a perfume subscription called Olfactive. I actually get that myself, and you get them in every month. You can either get 3 or 6. I'll go into that maybe in a different video, but I just had so much fun watching her and her husband just blind sniff these fragrances. I thought they were really cute. I loved how she described them. So since I have really enjoyed her videos, and I thought she would be a perfect person to collab on this video with me. So be sure you guys go subscribe to her, go follow her on Instagram. Definitely give her video a watch. I'm sure we'll have very different fragrances across our 2 videos. I'm really curious to see hers. Also because I think she's doing 10, unless that changes, and I had the hardest time narrowing mine down. 25 is very excessive. I realize this, but hey, I'm kind of an excessive gal. I think we can all agree on that. Plus, I started out with more than that, and I had to really struggle weeding it down. Technically, I really have 21 different ones in this video, but 4 of them I have dupes. And so I'm presenting 2 dupes of basically the same DNA of a fragrance. So I wanted to show you guys anywhere from designer to niche to very affordable, like value fragrances, all the way across the board. So let's go ahead and get into it because we might be here for a while. Here are my 25 spring fragrance recommendations. All right, you guys, I'm gonna talk about these first 2 kind of at the same time, even though they are different, but they are both celebrity fragrances. So I thought it would be fun to start out with these. Therefore, they are also very affordable. So we have Paris Hilton Rosé Rush, and then we have Exquisite by Christina Aguilera. So funny enough, even though both of these icons have had fragrances out for years and years, I think Paris, I want to say her first one may have launched like early 2000s, maybe 2000, and I know this one was 2000 and I can't remember. Anyway, it's been around for a while. Then Christina's also had fragrances for a long time. Now this is her newer one that actually launched last year, and then this one has been out for quite some time. So funny enough though, I only got this one a year ago, and I got this one recently, and they were my first of their fragrances. I kind of missed the boat. I think I had a little bit of an elitist fragrance attitude about celebrity fragrances, especially ones like these that were inexpensive. I was like, garbage, that's trash. I have to get the expensive designer ones way back in the day. Your girl ain't about that now. If it smells good, it smells good. That has been my motto. It's what I tell people all the time. I have fragrances all across the board. I don't care. I'm not too snotty to have affordable ones, and I don't care who owns them. If it smells good, it smells good. And both of these do smell good. So let me go ahead and start with the Paris Hilton. Number one, I love this bottle so much. So much. It is so pretty. It's such a pretty piece to have as a focal point in your bedroom, what have you. But you guys, this smells designer. It truly does. Now, funny enough, I'm not a huge traditional designer fragrance lover. I actually kind of avoid a lot of the typical ones that everybody else loves. However, because this is so affordable, because it comes in such a gorgeous bottle, because I feel like she's such an icon, the whole package of this really makes me happy. So this is a fruity rose balm, but it's not a grandma rose in here. This is a very youthful, vibrant, fun rose, and then you do have juicy notes in here. The lychee really stands out in here. I've grown to really, really love lychee fragrances. I find them to be very bright, juicy, energetic, ebullient. I know ebullient is like outgoing. I don't know if that's not the right word for lychee. Energetic, we'll just stick with that E word. But this is just like, if you don't want to spend the money on, say, a Lancome fragrance, the Idol line is what this kind of reminds me of a little bit. Not La Vie Belle, this is more like Idol. It could be one of the flankers, I feel like, in that line. That's what this is giving me, a traditional designer rose fruity DNA that people will think cost a whole lot more money than this did. Now, the Christina Aguilera one, Xtina, I do think this bottle is really fun too, with the little charm. It's kind of like harkens back to Christina's like dirty phase with the little tie me up. I think that's kind of cool. Very, very sleek. This one is floral. You do have rose in here as well. Both of these have a similar base too, with cedarwood and vanilla. But this one's much softer, whereas the Ruby Rush, or sorry, not Ruby Rush, Rosé Rush, there is a Ruby Rush in a red bottle. Rosé Rush is very like punchy with that lychee. This is definitely softer. It has a lot of fruit notes in it, but I get more of just really soft, lovely spring floral with a little bit of hint of that cedarwood and vanilla in the base. And it's a beautiful scent. I wore this last spring out, wind blowing around me, and I was like, I smell amazing. I cannot believe this is an Xtina Christina Aguilera perfume. Really, really lovely, really budget friendly. Okay, now I'm gonna go niche and a little bit more expensive here. We have Memo Paris Marfa. Now, I had a hard time narrowing this down too, because so many spring fragrances to me could go into summer. So that was very, very hard. Some of these I feel like could definitely be appropriate for summer too. And this one I think is one of those. So this is a very, very dry floral fragrance. So we have dry tuberose. Tuberose can go a couple of different ways. It can go very, very bubblegum. There is a bubblegum tuberose out there. There is also kind of a tropical tuberose, and then there's a dry tuberose. This is a very dry desert sort of tuberose in here. You also have ylang ylang, which can also be tropical, but here this fragrance is, again, a dry floral fragrance. You also have mandarin orange in here in the top notes. We also have orange blossom base. You have sandalwood, vanilla, cedar, musk, I believe. So this is such a beautiful fragrance. Actually, I chose this for my birthday fragrance last year, and my birthday party was a pool party just at my house with my friends. And I chose this because this is a very clean, fresh, perfect in hot weather fragrance. I also feel like this is really, really appropriate for if you just get out of the shower and you want to just continue smelling very, very clean girl. This is that too. So I feel like this could definitely go spring and summer here. I just think if it's a warm spring day and you don't maybe want to compete with a bunch of florals around you, you just want to smell clean, you want to smell effortless. That is this fragrance. I also really, really love the bottle. This one's addictive to me because when I very, very first got it, I got it off of a recommendation from my girl, Sarah. I talk about her often in my fragrance videos because she's a fragrance lover as well. She recommended this and I blind bought it. And at first I was like, it's a little soapy to me. You guys, I've kind of grown to like soapy fragrances though. Like one scent make me just feel so effortless and clean, where someone walking by is just like, oh, that girl smells good, but I'm not too overpowering. That's what this is. Really, really love it. Could be spring or summer. Okay, next up we have Rose Parade by Net Perfumes. So I bought this discovery set a while back, and this was by far my favorite in the whole discovery set. And I was surprised because I have learned not to say that I hate a note, always love a note, what have you, because there can be outliers anytime. Rose, I've really grown to love when it's done in a way that I enjoy, and that is this. This is a predominantly rose fragrance. Like, it is a rose bomb. However, it is such a sexy, expensive, feminine rose that is not too mature. It's also not like the girly rose either that is like a little girl. This is a sophisticated, rich woman rose fragrance, and this was also my husband's favorite in that discovery set. Anytime, my husband, sometimes we agree, a lot of times we don't. If there's something he absolutely hates, I will avoid it. If there's something he loves that I like, I tend to go ahead and go for it. I really liked this. He loved it. I've grown to really love it as well. And this is a little bit heavy for a daytime spring fragrance, but I think this is beautiful for nighttime when it gets just a little bit cooler and you just want to evoke the sexiest, most like sophisticated, confident woman. That is Rose Parade. Love. Okay, now I'm going to talk about one that my husband's kind of like, because it's a lot for him, and that is My Way, Giorgio Armani. Now, there are a ton of flankers now of My Way. In my opinion, way too many. There are too many. I do have My Way Floral. This is the regular My Way. I chose this one because I like it just a little bit better. I thought I liked the floral better when I bought it, but when I now spray them one arm to the other, I prefer this one just a little bit more. This is a floral bomb, and honestly, this could easily be called a summer fragrance because it is so tropical floral smelling, like very tuberose, heavy. Smells like Hawaii to me, which is why I love it. I haven't been to Hawaii in a really long time. I went 3 times in a short amount of time in my early 20s, late teens, and I fell in love. And this is like nostalgic for me. It smells like when you get off the plane. That is what this smells like. But it is very strong. And reviews are actually pretty divided on this. Like, some people it's just way too much for them. Way too much floral in their face, too sweet. But it is sweet in a floral sense, not sweet in a sugary sense. But I really appreciate it. Again, it could go summer, but it's also pretty heavy. Like, it's a heavy floral. So I feel like in the heat, it'd be almost nauseating. That's why I prefer it in the springtime. I've also discovered I really like something layered with this, and it is Pink Aura by Forever 21. Who knew they had fragrances? I did not till recently. Now they're like in discount stores like Fragrance Net, Fragrance X. They have it on Amazon. And that one is a raspberry sparkly sugar rush. Those together with this, it's really pretty. It kind of like makes this one peppier instead of just being this like heavy cloying floral. That one mixed in makes it kind of bubbly and effervescent. Effervescent, not ebullient. That's the word I was looking for. So I really enjoyed this one. I understand that people either love this one or hate it. Except we have another celebrity fragrance actually, but not quite as cheap as the other two. This is Wildly Me by Florence Mills. So if you don't know, that's Millie Bobby Brown's brand. And I actually have a whole YouTube video on this on this perfume reviewing it. I really love it. I can see why this isn't everyone's cup of tea, but I really appreciate this fragrance. And to me, this one kind of goes fall or spring in my opinion. I don't even think it would be terrible in the summertime, like on a cool summer night, but you could get away with fall as well. But this is a woody floral. It's also very herbaceous, and you have a little bit of spiciness in here that does come from the florals that are in it. It has wisteria. It also has clary sage. So it's kind of spicy, kind of woody, and then it does have that floral, and it has lavender and iris in it. I love it. I feel like it's very sophisticated for such a young owner's, brand. And I think maybe the reviews that bring this down, young girls may try this and be like, this is too sophisticated. It is not mature as far as it doesn't smell like you've got a cane. It is just not bubblegummy. It's not sweet. It is fresh, herbaceous, really, really lovely for like if you are in a spring day and you're on a walk and the wind hits you. It just is very like kind of cozy, but not so cozy that it only belongs in fall time. I really, really, really was surprised by this one. Okay, this next one gave me such a hard time deciding if I was putting it in this video for spring or not. I even told my friend Sarah that I was like, yeah, I took it out, you know, even though I really wanted to talk about it, and then I put it back in because this is one of my favorite fragrances in my whole collection. It's just hard to know where to put it because some people view this as a fall fragrance, some could do spring, even summer, but this is Indigo by Nest. This is one of my most unique, intoxicating, addictive fragrances that I own. It is so exotic and alluring and kind of confusing, but just it's amazing. Okay, it's amazing. So this is a tea, cardamom, fig fragrance. You also have a bergamot in here as well. So while some people view tea fragrances as a fall fragrance because tea, you know, is a comfort drink, right? So you drink more hot tea in the fall, therefore tea fragrances fall. This one to me though has something about it that is so energetic to me. Like it's comforting at the same time as making me feel really alive, which is what I think in the summertime, when everything's blooming, when things are alive recycling. And that's what this gives me. Like and I'm gonna sound probably like a nut because I haven't really heard anyone else say this. Something about this makes me think blueberries, even though there's no blueberry in this. Like it's called indigo. Like that is a blue shade. I think blue when I smell this. So maybe that's why I think blueberries. It's just incredible. I could really wear this all year round. This is one I really, really think you can wear every single season. I just was itching to talk about it, so I put it in here. I will absolutely wear it in the spring. I already have. That's Indigo by Nest. Okay, this next one is a newer one in my collection that is now one of my favorite fragrances in my entire collection, and that is Mussallam White Intense by Lattafa. Number one, the bottle. The bottle is so luxurious, so gorgeous, so ornate, so luxe, so heavy. You would swear this was a $300 bottle of fragrance. This cost me around $40 on Joma Shop. It has been sold out since. It sells out, comes back, sells out. I've never seen it cheaper than Joma Shop. I do have a landing page with them that has all of my, not all of my, I can only put 18 of my favorites on there. I have even more favorites than that, but I do have a landing page. It'll be linked if you want to see what some of my recommendations from Joma Shop are, because it's one of my favorite sites to shop from. Anyway, you guys, this is so addictive. This is so luxe. So this smells expensive. It looks expensive. This one you could wear spring or summer. This is technically one I think is completely appropriate as a signature scent all year round. It can go day, night. It is just one of those chameleons. But you do have some sort of springy notes in here. So you have bergamot, orange, spices, coconut, ylang ylang. You have sandalwood, musk, and benzoin. So this is like that girl that walks in that has got Prada bag on. She has Louis Vuitton shoes. She's in a power suit. You know, she's got her real gold on and she walks by and everyone's heads turn and like, what is she wearing? Scent wise, it is this. It is so dang pretty. I cannot even tell you. The coconut in here, I will say, because I know there's so many that have a hang up on coconut. People either love it or hate it. I love it. There's a lot of fragrances though that list coconut that you don't really smell and go, that's coconut. I don't really smell this and think coconut. This is like a creamy floral without being too dense. It still has this lightness to it that is just so pretty. It has an ever so slight, when it says spices, it's very, very subtle. This is not like an overwhelming, spicy, you know, not like an Arabic oud fragrance. It is just balanced and blended so beautifully. The bottle alone, everyone kept saying, I posted it on Instagram and they're like, I would buy it just for the bottle. And I'm like, I get it. The bottle is gorgeous, but buy it also because it smells amazing. That is Lattafa Musamman White Intense. Highly recommend. Okay, guys, we're gonna be here all day, so I need to be faster. Okay, this is cruel. This is very, very cruel to show you, and it's cruel to me. This is Bond number 9. This is at Union Square Andy Warhol. The reason why this is cruel, this is no longer available. You cannot find this fragrance unless you want to pay for like a half fill line for $500, $600. And it is one of my favorite fragrances of all time. This is a green floral fragrance, and green fragrances and I rarely love them. I can like them and I can hate them. Rarely do I love them. I love this fragrance so much. You guys, I've had this for years and years and years. I have about this much left. I do not want to use it up. This was, I believe, my second Bond number 9. My very first one was around 2008 was my first Bond number 9. Fell in love with them. They're very pricey. This was my second. I think of Vegas when I think of this because every time I went to Vegas, I would take this fragrance, like in my 20s, in my 30s. It is that fragrance that people stop you and like grab you. They chase you down. What are you wearing? 2 sprays of this, you are set for like 48 hours. If you spray it on your clothes, put it in your closet for a month, you get it back out. You can smell it. It's so incredible. I'm not gonna go too much into it. I had to include it because it's my baby. If you happen to have it, oh my gosh, you're so lucky. Pray that one day they bring this back. Bond number 9. Why did you discontinue one of the greatest fragrances of all time? Okay, this next one is a fragrance from Skylar that I never hear anyone talk about, and that is Indigo Valley. This is such a freaking good fragrance, you guys. So this is, I honestly feel like, to me, this is spring, but it could definitely go fall because there is a hint of a gourmand. There are gourmand notes. So this is a blueberry, lotus, chocolate, marshmallow. I'm cheating looking at notes over here. Suede, jasmine, damask rose, clear wood, vanilla bean, and musk fragrance. If you hear that, you probably think that sounds heavy. That sounds very, very gourmand, like blueberry, marshmallow, chocolate. It does not read that way blended together or on the skin. This reads like the lotus in here is a very like aquatic flower. So it is like a watery, juicy hint of blueberry with like a little bit of musk and almost like a woodsiness that comes in, but it's very fresh. This is such a pretty fragrance. It is very strong too. And Skylar, a lot of the complaints about Skylar, including my own, is they can sometimes almost just be like a body spray when it comes to performance. This one is strong and it stays put, and that is Indigo Valley by Skylar. Okay, next up we have an alt fragrance. Alt fragrances, they have some of their own, and then they also dupe higher, more expensive fragrances. So this is Bohemian Water, which is duping Gypsy Water. Okay, I said Gypsy. I know people get really, really upset sometimes. I have a friend who is of Gypsy descent that says, in her opinion, it offends her when people don't say the word, that she holds it with pride. So I get confused, but anyway, they renamed it. This is Bohemian Water. So this is another one that it was hard. I was like, do I include this? Like, when do I wear this? Like when? This one can really go anytime as well. This is lemon, and I think the lemon and bergamot in here is what takes it from what could just be colder weather to spring. Lemon, juniper, bergamot, pine needles, orris root, incense, sandalwood, vanilla, and amber. I get a very sweet, creamy lemon from this, rounded out with a little bit of woods, but it's also very fresh. It's not too heavy. You know, a lot of woody fragrances obviously go very fall, winter. When it's got citrus in it and it has a lightness to it and a freshness, then I consider that like a spring woody fragrance. And that's what this one is for me. I really, really enjoy it. This is newer to my collection. I would never pay the big bucks for this though. Like for Byredo, I would never pay what that one costs because I think this is lovely. And it's not so complicated that it deserves a big price tag. Alt for this one, all the way. All right, let's go ahead and go with one that I have two that are very, very similar, and they're both dupes, although they're duping different ones. Okay, let me just get into it. All right, this is Zamaya Hawa Pink bottle. This is a Middle Eastern fragrance. The bottle is bottling, okay? Sexy, sexy, insane bottle for how cheap this is. This is Ocha Madame Rose. So this one is duping Parfums de Marly Delina Rose. This one is duping regular Delina from Parfums de Marly. If you don't know that house, very, very expensive. We're talking like $400, $300, $400, something like that for the bottle. This one, so cheap. So is this one really. But I actually really prefer Hawa Pink. They're not that different. Here's the thing. So this one does not have a rhubarb note in it. And regular Delina has rhubarb in it. I have a Delina sample. I do like it. I would never pay the price. I think it's a lovely fragrance. The bottle is beautiful. It's this beautiful pink bottle, but there's so many dupes out there and I don't love it enough to pay the big price. So the rose one though is missing that rhubarb note. For some people, their complaint even about the expensive one, Delina, that rhubarb note is very harsh to them. It becomes scratchy. It's just irritating to them. So this is missing that. This does have such a spiciness to it though. This version, like this smells like a Middle Eastern version of Delina. So it's a little bit more exotic, but still a pretty floral, but you have to want like an exotic sort of spiciness. And I don't mean like, you know, cooking spices. I mean like a spicy rose, like the Turkish rose in here is like a spicy rose. You have to like that. I prefer this one actually over this one. So like I said, this is a dupe of Delina. People say this is spot on. I think that the rhubarb in here is too much. And I think there's sort of a fakeness to this fragrance. I like it, it's fine. I'll still wear it, but it's not my favorite. I wanted to bring it up because they're just so close that I want to say I prefer the Hawa Pink Zamaya. This thing was so hard to find, you guys. This was sold out for so long. Any of the Middle Eastern, you know, if they get hyped up, they're impossible to find. But I did find this, I think, on TikTok Shop. If you find this and those notes sound good to you, or you like Delina Rose, pick this up. Okay, while we're on the dupe train, let's move forward with another one. So this is Maison Alhambra, and this is Reina. Beautiful bottle. And then we have Le Monde Gourmand Batel Ephemer. So both of these are supposed to be dupes of Parfums de Marly Oriana. However, I personally think Parfums de Marly Oriana smells so similar to Kilian Love Don't Be Shy. So if you're someone who loves Kilian Love Don't Be Shy, you don't want to pay the money for it, you might really, really like these. Or if you do like Oriana as well by Parfums de Marly, you might really like these as well. These smell almost identical to me. This one was actually so cheap. I got this one off of Frag Bar, and it ships out of Canada, but it ships very, very quickly. And I want to say this was $18, $20, something like that in the shipping. And they made it 30 something, but the bottle's so nice. It's very heavy. And what this is basically is a very soft, fluffy, marshmallowy type of floral. So if you've smelled Love Don't Be Shy, it kind of has that sweet marshmallowiness to it, but with some fruity notes, some orange blossom in this one. The Patal FM has orange blossom as well, and it also has rose petals, white peach. They smell almost identical. They list some different notes in these two. It comes out smelling the same, and they both are definitely trying to be inspired by Oriana. Okay, I'm really, really excited to talk about these. And these kind of dupes smell the same. This one's different, but they are both violet fragrances that I love. So let me go ahead and start with Ultraviolet Paco Rabanne. I am so excited to talk about this on my channel because this has been one of my signature scents, one of my favorites of all time since around 2006, 2007. This came out in 1999. This is definitely not my first bottle. Believe me, it's this crazy spacey looking sucker here. This is forever in my top 3. It is the most vibrant, energetic violet that is not powdery, but is spicy in the most wearable, addictive, alluring, sexy, just incredible way. So like I said, this is a violet fragrance, not powdery, but it has different peppers in it. Like it has red pepper, it has pimento, and I have learned I am a sucker for the note pimento in a fragrance. It gives it that little je ne sais quoi that makes it so unique, so different, and like I said, just very, very addictive. But you put like a soft flower, like a violet flower, iris violet, kind of interchangeable. So like it should be this powdery flower, but then you put in like something spicy to counter it, and it is a whirlwind of gorgeousness. You guys, this is also so long lasting. I'm talking lasts 24 hours on the skin, forever on clothing. Now you can find this discount sites. It is on Joma shop. It's on my landing page. It's like, I think 30 something, 40 bucks. I cannot recommend it enough. They don't make fragrances like this anymore. Like 1999 was such a good year for fragrances. This is Ultraviolet Paco Rabanne. Now, these two, very, very different from that, but still a violet fragrance. Sort of the same feel, but let me tell you why they're different. So this is Dolce & Gabbana Violet, and then this is Dua brand's version of that. This is Vibrant Violets. So this one came out, and I blind bought it a year ago or so because I love violet. When it's done right, I love violet. I like this a lot, not as much as Ultraviolet. The difference is this is a very candied violet. I don't mean that there's candy notes in here. This is just a sweet floral violet here, whereas the Ultraviolet is this spicy, energetic blast of like awesomeness. This is much more toned down, very, very sweet, very, very sweet violet. This is so short lasting though. Like I'm talking 3-4 hours on the skin, this is gone. The Dua version, these are extracts, so this lasts much longer. It is like almost an exact dupe. I would say it's almost not even quite as sweet. It's still sweet, but not quite as sweet as Dolce & Gabbana. Lasts much longer, so I would actually recommend the Dua over this. If you ever want to purchase Dua, I do have a link code, 10% off now. It's in the description, but if not, that's fine too. I'm a sucker for violet when it's done correctly. So fun for spring. All right, now we have another dupe. That is a KLE Yum Pistachio. And then we also have Paris Corners Hair. So this I talked about in an Aroma Concepts viral popular Middle Eastern fragrances video already. Everybody knows Pistachio Yum. Pistachio took off like nobody's business last year. And I will say, I have a hard time. I'm like, is this spring? Is this summer? Is this fall with this? Like, I think you could wear these year round actually. I prefer out of these two, Hair over KLE. The reason being, this one lasts longer. It's a little bit more potent. It's slightly more pistachio nutty and less powdery than this one. I still really enjoy this fragrance. I just feel like this is better as a layering fragrance. By itself, it's just kind of linear. It's just this kind of sweet, fluffy, powdery thing with like a hint of pistachio, where this is just more, yeah, it's more pistachio here. Really not that powdery at all. It's very smooth, very creamy, but still pretty fresh. Like both of these are fresh to wear for spring. But you could definitely carry these over into fall and layer like something like caramel in here as well. So yeah, pistachio could go year round. Pistachio, we have another one that is Elie Saab's Girl of Now. This bottle I just think is so pretty. This is a newer one for me. It's not a new fragrance. It came out in 2017. My friend Victoria on Instagram just raved about it. And I really enjoy this. I feel like this is more springy than the last two. The reason why this is more floral than it is pistachio, but there is a pistachio element to it. So this is what I would call like a socialite's spring fragrance. It feels sophisticated. It does feel traditional designer, but with like a little bit of something special to it. So it's not too boring designer. It's not too heavy. It's girly. It's soft. It has pistachio and pear, orange blossom, almond, magnolia. So it's ever so slightly powdery with the almond, but not too baby powdery. It has other things to anchor it and make it more sophisticated. I think the magnolia kind of brightens it up and counters that powderiness. This is just an effortless, pretty girl, daytime, totally appropriate spring fragrance. When you just, like, if you were going to a brunch, to like a baby shower, something like that, this would be perfect. Okay, these two are also Le Monde Gourmand. I'm gonna do a whole video. I have 15 Le Monde Gourmands. I'm sure I'll add more. I love this brand, such an affordable brand. So I'm gonna do a video ranking them, which will be hard. But we have two here. So we have Fleur de Blonde, and then we have the Matcha. So these are two that I was also like, are these spring? Am I just sneaking these in because I wanna talk about them? Perhaps, but I do think you can wear these in the springtime. Fleur de Blonde is a musk fragrance basically. And musk can be heavy, where I feel like it's more of like a cozy fall winter. And then this one though, I think is bright enough, and it does have violet in it where it doesn't necessarily smell floral, but it's not a heavy musk. It's very light, it's very clean. It is so pretty on the skin. And I'm picking it for spring because when you're outside and the wind hits you, you're like addicted. You're like, what am I? Oh, it's this. And it's so affordable, so good. Then the matcha I'm including because this is matcha and freesia and amber. So it's warm, but freesia is one of my favorite florals in fragrance because it is very peppy. It gives this sort of almost like bubbly quality. And then the matcha is kind of comforting as well. So this one's kind of, again, like could be year round, but I just like that freesia in it makes it more spring for me. Okay, now I didn't even tell you guys, I only have two more left. They're both travels. I didn't tell you that I narrowed this down to only full size or travels, not even my samples. If I did that, we would be here all day. We've already been here long enough. So this is Nest Lychee Rose. I love this fragrance so much, you guys. This is raspberry, lychee, rose, and champagne. The more I wear this, the more I really like it. The raspberry is so kind of like tart. The champagne gives it a little bit of like bubbliness to it. The rose is done very well. The lychee's fruity, it's juicy, it's fun, it's bright. This is maybe my, I don't know, that's hard. I really like Nest fragrances. Like this is 3, but could almost tie for 2 for me. And Indigo is my number 1. And then my very last one, finally, is newer to my collection, but I love it so much. It is Fleur Father Figure. This is another one I was influenced by my friend Victoria on. And you guys, this is so addictive. So addictive. So this one could be worn year round as well. Absolutely appropriate for daytime, not signature scent worthy. So signature scent worthy. But this is Fig, Water Lily, Cassis, orris root, iris, jasmine, musk, Madagascar, vanilla, and sandalwood. It is so comforting. It is so alluring. This is someone walks by wearing this, you want to know what they're wearing. I have experienced wearing this out like to baseball games of my sons, and when the air hits me, I'm just like, I smell so good. It is a very creamy fig. Like fig can go green, or sometimes you can have like a fruity fig or like a creamy fig, especially since this has orris root in it, the sandalwood, the musk, the vanilla. It all kind of rounds it out to this like soft cloud of fig and soft florals. It is so beautiful. Honestly, it could be any year, any time, but I had to mention it because it's right now kind of one of my absolute favorites. That is it, you guys. That's 25. Are you still here? Kelly, are you like, I'm never collaborating with you ever again because you can't edit yourself? Believe it or not, I did edit myself. I had much more I wanted to share. I think I may do a sample video as well sometime, like ones I think are worth full bottle, ones that weren't successful, because I've got tons of fragrance to share with you guys. I'm so glad that you're starting to enjoy my fragrance videos. It makes me so happy. Again, please go watch Kelly's video. I can't wait to see what her list is. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have fun shopping, budget shopping. Bye.